What's good, everyone? Today's a little bit of a different video to the football ones, and as I said, I don't know if I've said it, but I'm not just a football channel. I'm going to be doing other content, and films and TV shows, or genres of them anyway, is something I'm definitely going down. I'm a big fan of it, so we're going to hop straight into it. This is going to be my personal opinion on my top 5 favourite horror movie franchises ever, and I'll explain why. I'm not going to go too much into depth, but I'll just explain little things about the movies that I like and why they're in my top 5. And I'm going to go from 5th to 1st. Let's get it. So, at number 5, great film, very classic original, Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, the reason this is number 5, I think a lot of people would have this a lot higher. For me, it's a very, I think they overdid it a little bit. I don't think there should have been 7 of the films. I do love the first 2. I think, what number? It's hard to, the one where it's the like a mental hospital, that one's amazing as well. And for being like 70s, 80s films, like it looks crazy. Storyline of Freddy Krueger I think is great. I think that they thought outside the box of it. The fact, you know, it's in your dream that he's doing this stuff, and then it reverts to actually happening in real life about him being in your real life situation. I think that's amazing. I think the fact he has the power to do it in your sleep, in your dream, in your head, but it's happening in real life. I think that was a really clever idea. I think that was the first time, and probably since, we've not seen anything kind of like that. So very smart. I think that was a very original idea is how I'd put it, to be fair. I mean, most of the other films are going to be either slasher films or, you know, like murder films. But this is it's a outside of the box murder film, which is why I like it so much. The reason I'm not putting it a lot higher, as I said, I think 7 was a bit too many. I think they overdid that a little bit. And the remake in 2010 was really bad. That was probably the worst reboot of a horror film I have ever seen. I think it was horrible. They should never have done the 2010 one. Really bad. Nothing really good to say about the 2010 one. But still, overall, great franchise, classic, watchable every year. So that goes to number 5. So, in number 4, I'm going to put Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, for me, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is, in terms of jump scare wise, one of the best out there. You know what, even the 1974 one, the classic original 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, very scary. And you know what, usually I would watch like 70s and 80s horror films and they don't get you as much, because, you know, back then the budget's a lot lower, the camera quality is a lot different, the makeup is very different. You know, they didn't have all of this cool CGI stuff that we get to use now to make films look a bit more realistic. So, you know, there are some 80s and 70s horror films you can watch and it's just, you can just tell it's so fake. But the 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre it's amazing. It really is. It even makes me jump. Like when I first ever watched it, it made me jump a lot. And that, I think that was big for me straight away. If an original classic can make me jump or make me feel a bit scared, or, you know, makes my heart go a little bit faster whilst watching it, then for me it's already a brilliant film, because I think it's a lot harder for one of the old originals to make you feel that way than it is to make a newer, updated version. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, saying that, they've got a few versions, and they've also got a Leatherface kind of spin-off film to show a little bit more into his life. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre itself, the 2003 one was okay. My favourite one has to be the 2006 one. I think that's very good. I think that the storyline in it just makes it, with the cop and his like son as well. Yeah, his son, who's also to do with the family. Yeah, brilliant. Really enjoyed the 2006 one. I think that was probably the best one in my opinion. It just goes into depth. That one goes into depth on the character development, which I'm huge on in every film or TV show. So that one right there, 2006 one, blew me away. Better than 1974 if you ask me. But of course, that's just my generation kind of opinion. 2013 one got a lot of a lot of critics or critiques. I don't know. It got a lot of bad reviews. But look, I enjoyed 2013 one. Acting from some people, very questionable. But having said that, I feel like they stuck to the original storyline quite well, which I quite enjoyed. If you watch them all the way through from 1974 to 2013 one, and add 2017 Leatherface film in there as well, at the end, then it all ties together. They do tie in the 2013 one original storyline to the original film. So I really enjoyed that. I like how they connected it. I love the whole thing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface, his classic famous chainsaw, the basement he always got people on the hooks on. It's fantastic. Honestly, it's really, really good. And I'll say so far, if you haven't seen the 2006 one, watch it, because it is amazing. So in third place, I'm going to go Halloween. I think Halloween is a classic horror film, and I think the original one, I can't remember for the life of me what year that was made. I like at the very beginning, the very opening scene, I believe it's him killing his sister who's in the shower, but it's the POV camera of Michael Myers. I really enjoyed that. And as the films go along, there's a 2007 Halloween, which is, I believe, a reboot or just a remake of the storyline. And it shows Michael Myers as a very, very young child, and it shows all of his problems, shows him killing rats and like his pet rats and stuff just for fun. He doesn't feel any kind of remorse. He actually gets very good enjoyment out of it, which, as everyone knows, that is in real life the first sign of a serial killer. If you kill an animal and enjoy it or don't feel any remorse, then that is the first sign of you being a fucking psycho. So that's what happened. Then he obviously goes on to be some mad little fucking murdering little teenager, or not even a teenager, he's like 12, and he's just killing everyone. He's killing a bunch of kids, gets a log, beats the fuck out of someone, kills them. It's quite mad. It's quite the pace of the movie moves quite quickly. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not getting the films mixed up, he gets locked up in the end of that film. Then in 2009, they remade Halloween 2, and it carries on from this specific set of actors and stuff. And the mum has killed herself at this point, I believe, unless that's the number 2. The mum has killed herself. The dad is dead. The stepdad is killed off. He was killed in number 1. The sister, I believe, is also dead. So then he's obviously grown up in number 2. He's an adult now in this one. He kills the janitor. He kills a bunch of people in where he's staying. He breaks out. Oh wait, no, and I believe he then chases his sister from number 1, I believe is the storyline. If I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen these films in a while, like Halloween ones anyway. But yeah, but overall, great slasher film. I really enjoy slasher films. I hope they don't make a Halloween series like I'm hearing, because the series of other films, they're not killing the film franchise, but when you watch it, they're just they've been disappointing so far. So don't make a Halloween series. Leave it as the movie franchise. But that is not the last Halloween that has been made. That was 2009. I believe there was one in between this one and the 2018 one. But what I will say about the Halloween 2018 one, that also got a lot of bad reviews. I really enjoyed it. Again, original, sticking to the storyline. Sticking to the original, the old lady in it, original classic member of the Halloween franchise. Sticking to aiming it towards her and Michael, the history they've had. I love it when films come back later on in the future, but they bring back the history. And I'll get onto that about another film in a minute. But Halloween is fantastic, and I can't wait for Halloween Kills. The trailer looks a little bit disappointing, but you never know. Maybe they're just not showing enough in it, and maybe it's just a big element of surprise. So, yeah, that's my number 3. My number 2, it's difficult. Number 1 and 2 are like very, very almost the same for me. Number 2, I'm going to give Friday the 13th. First of all, original 9 parts, part 1 to 9 of Friday the 13th. Amazing, absolute classic. It is unbelievable. Number 1 is Mrs. Maureen, which is Jason Voorhees' mother. She's actually the killer in part 1, which at first I never expected, because going into watching the first 9 parts for the first ever time, I was probably about 13, 14 at the time maybe, and I'd already seen the newest Friday the 13th. I'd already been a big fan of Friday the 13th, but I've never seen the original ones, so I watched them all. And yeah, it's I love the storyline. Number 1 is the mother, Mrs. Voorhees, killing, did I say Mrs. Maureen earlier, or Mrs. Voorhees, I don't know, but she kills the campers, the people that work there, of course. She then gets beheaded at the end of number 1, and then number 2 is all about Jason coming back for revenge. Jason Voorhees' mum, beheaded, and then of course there's the whole classic scene with the head, and then it's like you hear her voice, and she's telling Jason to come back for revenge, and then the whole thing starts off. It all kicks off. It's amazing. The first 9 parts are just an absolute classic. I think the original scene on a boat with the students, he gets the hockey mask for the first ever time as well. And then from there on, we got the classic hockey mask and machete for Jason Voorhees. So, yeah, I think it's one of the best ones out there. It was very close to being first, like very, very close. But yeah, of course, forget about Jason X. That was just woeful. 2009 film I did really enjoy. I really enjoyed it. I think it tied so well in together the originals. Even at the beginning scene when they're like talking about the classic Camp Crystal Lake stories from the original origin of the films. Oh, I loved it, man. I love the little cabin with Jason Voorhees written on it that he lives in from the original. The mother's head being they just tied the original in so well, 2009 one, and I really, really enjoyed that whole aspect of it. And I really hope they make a new one soon. It's been 12 years. We've not seen one since, so I would love to see a new Friday the 13th. But the number 1 spot for me, guys, Scream. For me, Scream changed the slasher game. It really did. Number 1, a lot of people don't know, is based off of a real murder massacre that happened in Florida. He was known as the Gainesville Reaper, I believe is what he was known as. He murdered many students on a college campus. Therefore, the director Wes Craven and the writers for the movie took some inspiration from that. They added it into the movie, and therefore they added a little bit of comedy, of course, because you got people like Randy, and then you got people like Gail Weathers, the reporter, played by Courtney Cox. You got Dewey, played by David Arquette, who's a kind of a goofy but serious kind of cop. Of course, Sidney Campbell, played by Sidney Prescott, played by Nev Campbell. And then and you got a great cast, you got a great movie, you got a great storyline as well. They add the murders, but they're doing it based around a schoolgirl who was murdered at night time. Her and her boyfriend were murdered, and then a few more people are killed off over the course of the film. And then there's actually the people who've been on screen all along, who were students themselves. Billy Loomis, who was of course Sidney's boyfriend, and his best friend Stu. They killed the mother a year ago from that day, and it was the year anniversary of them killing Sidney's mother, of course. And then their plan was to kill Sidney and the father and be the sole survivors and get all this attention. Of course, that didn't work out very well for them. Number 2, I like the idea of being Billy Loomis's mother back for revenge, along with the guy from film student class. For the life of me, I can't remember his name in the film. And then number 3 ties in very well. The stab films are quite big at that point, but like they're not really, like they're kind of frowned upon in Woodsboro. And then the director Roman, the whole time, who is Sidney's long lost brother, actually was behind the whole mastermind of the killing of the mother. So from 3 movies ago, I thought that blew my mind. I know number 3 and number 4 gets huge bad reviews every time, but I really enjoyed number 3 and number 4. And the thing is with number 3 as well. That wasn't the original script, for people that don't know. Dewey, the cop, was meant to be the original killer, but the script got leaked last minute, so they changed it to Roman being the long-lost brother. Now in number 4, I enjoyed number 4. I like the fact it was kind of the classic slasher 90s feel to it, as well as the modern-day horror film involved in it. That was the last movie Wes Craven, of course, could direct before he passed away. They have just filmed Scream 2022, which I can't wait for. It wasn't done by Wes Craven, of course, because he passed away, but I'm told it's meant to be a very good Scream. I believe that Scream 2022 will be flashbacks, as well as a storyline going on from the flashbacks and explaining maybe things we didn't know happened in the first 4 movies, which really fucking excites me. I can't wait for that. That's like my theory on the new Scream. We'll have to wait. I'm a little fanboy in Scream, so I have to wait and see. And yeah, so for me, I really enjoyed number 1 to 4 of Scream. I actually watched all 4 of them like a few weeks ago again. I've watched them all so many times. Really enjoyed the storyline. I can't wait for Scream 2022. I think that will be amazing. I think if it is the flashbacks and showing little bits that we didn't know, and maybe there's some big reveal in Scream 5, Scream 2022 is the original title. I can't wait, guys. But that's my top 5. The title says my top 5 horror movie franchises of all time, but I know it's going to be a very unpopular opinion for probably 3 of them. I can't see people putting Scream first like I have. Can't see people putting Nightmare on Elm Street 5th like I did. I think people might put that a bit further up. So yeah, I know there are other films that I haven't mentioned that are really good, but again, this is not going to be my only video on the horror genre, whether it's film or series. So yeah, if you like this video, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well, because I'm going to be doing videos like this. I'm going to be doing definitely more football content coming. I've got some other content ideas that you guys will all see soon. So thank you guys for watching. I'll be back soon.